The new Counter-Strike, titled Counter-Strike Classic Offensive, was supposed to get its official release yesterday, but Valve delayed it. In case you didn't know, Counter-Strike Classic Offensive is a mod for CSGO designed to bring back the aesthetic of Counter-Strike 1.6 with all its features, sounds, shooting mechanics and more. The project, which has been in development for nearly 10 years, is set to be released soon. Of course, today we're not only talking about this mod, but also about the new map cache, which seems to be updated nearly every day. The video will be interesting, so don't forget to hit the like button right now and let's get started. Let's start today's video not with Counter-Strike Classic Offensive, as that's a long discussion, but with the map cache, which has been updated almost daily. Updates were released on March the 6th, 7th, 9th and 10th. The map's developer, FM Pawn, made over 40 changes and he mentioned those in the changelog, although we don't know how many other changes were made but not listed. This seems to be a record for updates. Valve would probably need a year to release 40 changes in one go. Valve, please don't take offense. It turns out that the cache map is becoming more and more playable, considering how quickly FM Pawn is working on it. More and more, it seems likely that we'll see it in the official map pool, or at least added to the regular matchmaking in the near future. On cache, for example, new content is already appearing, like the boost spots I showed in my previous video, which, by the way, have mostly been fixed except for one that a viewer showed me. It's still working. Some players are releasing guides with grenade throws on the workshop, which you can use. To launch a grenade throw guide, just load the map from the workshop, type a specific command in the console and then enter another one. Both the command and the link to the guide are in the description. Just 9 days ago, a Reddit post appeared about a second possible way to boost on mid. To perform it, you need to jump to a specific spot. Since this feature appeared on Reddit 9 days ago and there have been many fixes since, it seems like this boost method is here to stay as the second boost spot on mid. Now moving from cache to Classic Offensive, the mod for CSGO that aims to bring the Counter-Strike 1.6 aesthetic back, and it's doing a great job of it. If this isn't the first time you're hearing about Counter-Strike Classic Offensive, that's because it's been in development for a long time. Back in 2016, 8 years ago, the Counter-Strike Classic Offensive trailer was released on the Zool channel, created by the mod's developer. Personally, I played and launched Classic Offensive a few years after that trailer came out, though I can't remember the exact time. I really enjoyed it back then, even though it wasn't finished. From the gameplay footage on their official channel from late 2024, it's clear how much Counter-Strike Classic Offensive has evolved since the 2016 version. Although I haven't played the most recent version, I remember that it offered a great experience, essentially Counter-Strike 1.6 in a fresh new package with slightly improved graphics and surprisingly good FPS, unlike CS2. And it seems like everything is set for this mod to be released and for those nostalgic for CS 1.6 to finally play it. But not everything is that simple. After years of development, the Classic Offensive developer made a reference on their official Twitter to a Valve post asking, "What are you doing next Wednesday?" The post got a lot of attention and people began to wait for what was coming. When Wednesday came, it turned out that Valve had contacted the Classic Offensive developers, telling them they needed to delay the release. This news actually got even more attention, reaching 1 million views, which shows that Classic Offensive will definitely be popular. On the surface, it seems fair. Valve has the rights to their game and the use of materials within it. They have specific rules for mod developers. But the frustrating part of the situation is that back in January, the Classic Offensive developer complained that Valve never responded to their messages. The developers were frustrated with Valve's silence, especially since the game was ready for release by last fall. All they got were automated replies from support asking them to wait a few more days, and no one ever followed up. The day it was officially revealed that the game was set for release, Valve finally reached out. Legally, it seems justified for Valve to delay the release of Classic Offensive, but as far as I know, Classic Offensive isn't even planning to release on Steam. They intend to launch their own custom custom launcher for the mod. What's even more ironic is that despite Valve owning Counter-Strike, remember that Counter-Strike 1.6 itself was originally a mod for another game, just like Dota, which was also a mod for another game. Essentially, Valve became huge thanks to two massive games that were mods for other games. So it would be strange for Valve to oppose modding. That said, if you think Valve has already banned the release of Classic Offensive, they just asked the developers to double check whether they are violating any of Valve's usage rules. As a result, the Classic Offensive developers began reviewing their build yesterday to make sure they aren't violating any rules. So there's still a chance that Classic Offensive could get released. The mod features 12 classic maps, which will be familiar to fans but specially reworked for Classic Offensive. It's a shame that Valve might be worried about Classic Offensive causing some players to stop playing Counter-Strike 2 and may prevent the mod's release. Classic Offensive really deserves to be available to the community. That's all for today. Thanks for watching until the end. As this was Reveal, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next damn video.